What is up? This is Mr. Chin here. Today we got a 2008 INFINITI G37 and we got a problem with a engine code P0021. Right now that is saying that the intake timing is advanced on the bank 2 side, which is the driver side. And of course this is bank 1, which is the passenger side. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to check the VVT solenoid. And the way to get that is, number one, we're going to have to take off this coolant reservoir. And there's a few other things that we're going to have to take off before we'll be able to get it out. So let's get started by taking this out first. We got 1 and we got 2 10mm bolts. And then we got to take this pipe off here, and then we got to take this pipe off here. Now this pipe obviously just comes off really easy right here, just like this. And then of course you just squeeze this clamp and give it a pull, and then that's all ready to go. Now that I know these 2 bolts aren't too rusty, I'm going to get my trusty Milwaukee here and try to speed things up here a little bit here. One, and there's 2 bolts right there, and we'll just lift this out right there. Now let's get a good look in there and see what we're dealing with here. Now we want to take out the VVTs and we want to test them out. So this here, that is bank 2, and right there, that is bank 1. As you can see, there's the 2-pin connector right here. And of course, because we got to deal with bank 2, we're doing the trickier side. Now you see a couple of videos, they'll be like, hey, you know what? In order to take this VVT controller out, there's just one 10mm bolt that holds it in place. I'm going to try to show you that bolt right there. All right, there it is right there. Okay, and then this thing slides out. Well, that's real easy when you're dealing with the passenger side, but when you're dealing with the driver's side, and I'm going to turn this light on here, you can see we got a few things in the way. We got this main coolant pipe in the way, and we got this coolant pipe which goes to the oil cooler. Now we got to do something about this, because when you pull this down, it's going to touch this stuff here. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to loosen up this oil cooler line so we get some movement. And this clamp here, they got a worm clamp on here. We're going to remove it and just kind of try to rotate it. And we're going to see if we can get enough clearance without actually having to take off this pipe and lose any coolant. So let's lift this car up and let's loosen off the oil cooler lines. And taking a look under the car. Let's take a look. See our oil pan right there. And we got the coolant oil cooler lines right here. And we're going to be taking off that bolt right there. Follow along. We're going to be taking off that bolt right there. They're both 10mm. And then we look up into the crankshaft. We're going to follow that line all the way up. And then there is our third 10mm bolt. It's to the 3 o'clock position of the main crankshaft pulley. All right, I've already crack this bolt, which is beside the crankshaft pulley here. Let's get that out. Let's get this second one out here. And we'll go to the third one, which is right here. I already cracked these loose prior, because it's hard to hold the ratchet and the camera at the same time, but we'll get these loose here. All right, get those bolts out, and then hopefully that gives us enough play to move the pipe out of the way at the top so we can get our VVT solenoid out. Coming back to the top here, now I've already taken the liberty of loosening this clamp here. Of course, that's not the stock clamp. I'm just going to kind of rotate it out the way. Try to give as much clearance as possible. Right? You might have one of these clamps. Therefore, you can kind of just, I guess, squeeze it. You can squeeze it and then rotate it out the way. All right, and then you can see this is our pipe here that we loosen up. You can see there's quite a bit of movement there now. Maybe we can get that solenoid to kind of slip in between there and we can get it out. Now the solenoid 10 millimeter bolt is right here, so let's go ahead and take that out. And now this thing can get some rotation out of it now. And we just want to try to, there we go. We're just pulling it and then it's rotating it out. Now this connector is a bit tricky to get to. It's a bit tricky to remove. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to remove the passenger side connector, and we're going to remove the clip out of here, and then the one clip out of there. We're going to free up this harness, and so therefore that harness can move over to this side and we can get enough harness clearance to pull the VVT solenoid out of there. The easiest way to take these clips off here, and I'm going to give you a nice little quick peek here. You got to squeeze the sides here. Now in this case here, you're squeezing the top and the bottom together and pushing it out. This one at the back here is a little bit tricky. That one right there. Okay, but once you understand how it comes off, just kind of hack away at it. You know, you'll eventually get it. I just use for this one here, it's not too bad. Just use a needle nose pliers. Just going to squeeze them and just kind of push it out. And there you go. And then just going to, oh, I already got this. I'll plug it back in. So just so you know, at the bottom here, you're just going to push it down and then just pull it out. And there you go right there. All right, and now we got some movement here, and that should be enough clearance to pull out the solenoid, and hopefully we can get it out without having to remove the coolant pipe. Okay, so let's see if we can squeeze this out here. Let me see if I can try to take this connector off here. Bit of a difficult position right here, but let me see what I can do here. Maybe I can get it out. If not, then I'll just try to take her out. And you can see we got our loose pipe right there. So it might be of a bit of a tight squeeze here. Just gonna try to wiggle it out. Okay, there we go right there. All right, so we got it out. Now we can get access to our connector here. Perfect. And now let's get this on the bench and let's test it out and let's see if this thing works. Now I've gone ahead and taken out the passenger side VVT solenoid, which is right here. 110 millimeter bolt holds it, just like the driver's side. But this one is a lot easier. There's a couple of videos that show how to do the passenger side already. It literally just slides out this way. There's no obstruction of any kind. So with that being out, let's go test our solenoids and see what we come up with. And as I can see, our two solenoids on the bench, I have them orientated how it would be on the vehicle if we were looking at the vehicle from the front, or the engine from the front, driver's side and passenger side. So we're going to go ahead and test our passenger side first. It's a 2-pin connector, and it doesn't matter what polarity you hook up the solenoids to. They'll both work. It's a magnetic control, so just needs to generate a magnetic field in order for it to operate. So we'll connect our negative here, and then we'll connect our positive power probe here. We'll add power just like that. Okay, so we're going to connect it, and we're going to take a look here and see. Okay, so when I'm adding power, see it operates correctly. Now we move on to the driver's side here, and let's see if this operates. Okay, so get here. Now let's let me connect this up correctly and put this here. Come on now. All right. And as you can see, there is nothing going on Okay, so let's make sure that I am right on the terminals here. Okay, which I am. Adding power, and we don't hear anything, and we don't see any movement from that bottom piece right here. And we are back, and here we got the brand new one right here, and we're going to give it a little test and make sure that it works before we put it back in. And there we go. All right, so that works. Okay, old one, new one. Let's get this in place, and we'll start the car and we'll see how it runs. And we will be putting the old one back in. I've cleaned it up with some brake clean, and then put in some fresh oil in there. I didn't show you how I took this out, but it's very easy how it goes in. Literally just want to get it into position like this. Find the hole, and then you're just going to slide it in. And that's all it really takes. You got to make sure to lock it in this way. All right, and then once it's locked in, you're going to put your 10mm bolt in. All right, and we're going to put our new one in the same way we took it out. We get our space in there. And it might be a little bit tricky getting in the new one, but we're going to do our best here and see if we can just finesse it in place there. It's just the beginning part that gets a little tough, but once you kind of get it in, there you go, just like that. Once it's in place, that is it. We're going to push it, lock it in place. Then we're going to throw in our 10mm nut or a bolt and get this thing all set up. And last thing we got to do is we got to retighten our clamp for our radiator hose, and then we're going to have to throw in the nuts for this lower cooler pipe that we loosened off. Once we get that done, we're going to plug in our harness, get everything set up, and we'll start this thing. As a matter of fact, let's just put in our harness now while we're here. Right in there, we'll get this harness. Okay, we got 1, we got 2, and we got 3 of the bolts all tightened up here. And we're going to have to give this a bit of an engine wash because it looks like there's an oil leak here. I'm also going to recommend that this customer get an oil pan here because there's quite a bit of a dent right there. But we'll do that later. For right now, let's lower this car, let's get this thing started, and let's see if it runs any better. Okay, let's start this up. Okay, so this thing seems to be running pretty good. We got an engine light there, which I was actually expecting because we do have missing O2 sensors. So we're going to be replacing those a little bit later. But the engine runs really smooth at this moment in time. Before it was really running rough. We were also getting the random misfire code P0300. The original code we were getting was P0021. So with that new VVT solenoid, it's running a lot smoother. We're going to let it warm up and then see how well it runs when it's at normal operating temperature. But so far, so good. Okay, and those are the codes I was talking about. The closed loop B1, air fuel sensor 1, heater B1. All right, so it looks like maybe a fuel O2 sensors are going to have to get replaced along with this air fuel ratio sensor here. because the heater circuit is not functioning correctly. So still some more work to do, but what we don't see is the P0021 or the random misfire. Okay, so we got some pretty good temperature going on right now, and it's idling rock steady. All right, let's throw this in drive. Let's go for a little quick test drive. Come to a complete stop here. We're still in drive. That idle looks rock steady, so I think we're good. And with that being said, this car is done, and that is how you remove, inspect, and replace both VVT solenoids on a G37. This is the 2008 model. If you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button and please like the video. I will appreciate it so much. Thank you guys for watching. This is Mr. Chen. I'll see you next time.